Hey everybody, great to see you. We started a new sermon series this week that we will be in throughout the entirety of the month of May, so 4 to 5 weeks. We'll see how it goes. The series is called Good News for Anxious Christians. Big idea of the series is that, if our faith is a major source of anxiety in our lives, then something's gone wrong with our faith. There are all sorts of things that we can legitimately be anxious about in our lives, but our faith really isn't one of them. Faith is not meant to make us anxious. And so if it is, and I know it is for a lot of us, then something's a little bit off. And so what we're doing in this series is talking about a number of different things that we've either been told or just kind of assumed that we have to do or that we have to be in order to be good Christians, that we don't actually have to do or be. And so this week, what we were talking about was that you don't have to be certain. Our main text was the same text we were in last week. This will be our last week in Matthew for a while. Matthew 28 verses 16 through 20. This awesome story of the Great Commission where the 11 apostles stand before resurrected Jesus and somehow they still doubt. Text doesn't really elaborate. We just know that somehow they're still able to doubt. So question 1, what was most interesting or encouraging to you from the sermon this week? Question 2, what was most challenging for you? What raised questions for you? What did you not understand? What did you not agree with? Question number 3, do you feel like you have to be certain about your faith? And if so, why? Why do you have this expectation that you're supposed to be certain about your faith? Question 4, this was something I said in the sermon that I'd like you to discuss because I think it's helpful. I said faith is not a binary choice between certainty on the one hand and then unbelief on the other hand. But rather, faith is a willingness to trust in God's faithfulness despite our uncertainty. So I want you to discuss that idea. Question number 5, what doubts tend to trouble you the most? I think a lot of us have a lot of doubts in common, but then you've probably got a few that are peculiar to you, and so it's helpful to just tell the truth about them because, again, God doesn't hold your doubts against you. God's not disappointed by them, and so you are free to tell the truth about them. Our action step was to relinquish the burden of certainty. And so if even God doesn't expect you to be certain, and we've seen biblically in the sermon, God does not expect you to be certain, then why are you expecting yourself and others to be certain? And so what would it look like for you to relinquish the burden of certainty? Hope that makes for some good discussing. I think you're really going to enjoy the series, and I'll see you on Sunday.